So it's 2:34 a.m. on Wednesday, January 29th. This is day 2 of the recovery from the hemorrhoidectomy surgery. I had 3 hemorrhoids removed, 2 from the base, 2 from the top base of the anus opening, and 1 from the bottom base of the anus opening. I have stitch lines that run from the left and right vertical from the exterior of the opening inwards into the rectum. I'm just on Tylenol, 500 milligrams over the counter. I decided not to take the opiate as it causes severe constipation. My pain tolerance is a little higher. I would say, that when I say moderate tolerance, it's probably high tolerance to a normal person. And a normal person's moderate tolerance would really be a light tolerance. It's not easy to sleep. I haven't gotten much. Tossed and turned. You need to keep yourself hydrated. Lots of water, lots of fluids. It's a must. Day 1, when you come back from the hospital, you're not going to feel any pain. You'll probably sleep for 6 or 8 hours to get rid of the noxious side effects of the anesthesia. Once that wears off, along with the counterpart medication they give you, whether it's morphine or whatever, it's going to be severely sore. You're going to be extremely irritable. It's probably best to keep the bandages on. That's what the doctor recommended, 48 hours or until the first bowel movement. I removed mine immediately, cleaned the area. It was sore. I used the pads instead of the gauze because the gauze sticks to the blood where the pads don't. For the first day, if you can, medicate and sleep. I'm telling you, it's your best friend. Medicate and sleep. Sitz bath should be taken immediately, along with the Restorelax. It's a stool softener, not a laxative. Polyethylene glycol, 3550, I believe, 100% pure. Get it at any Shoppers, about $20. It's going to draw water into the bowel. It's going to give you a weird feeling right at the opening of the anus, like you have to go, but you don't. It's one of those, it adds to the irritability. So it's going to be irritable, but having that water in there is going to moisten everything, is going to take away the tension on the stitch line. It's going to make it more comfortable for you. I'd rather feel like I have to take a crap than feel like my body's falling out. The pain is manageable with just Tylenol. You cannot take Advil. It will thin your blood and it could upset the stitch. I'm sitting right now in my truck. I find that the seat heaters built in my truck, it removes that feeling of having to go to the bathroom. It relaxes everything. It allows the stitch line to relax. If your stitches protrude out of the anus and onto the external part of your cheek, which mine do on the left and right side, a heater seat is definitely something that you should look at. They suggest walking for the first day or 2. You're not going to want to walk. I'm going into day 2 right now, 2:30 in the morning. My surgery was on the 27th at 10 o'clock. I went in, and by noon they had made their cuts. By 4 o'clock I was released. So that would be the 28th was day 1, and it's the 29th today, so that's day 2. I'd say after about 5 consecutive days, you'll be able to have your mobility back with very little pain. The stitches won't break away or dissolve for well over 4 weeks. So just be careful what you lift, what you do. Remember that you're going to be sore. There's nothing really else you can do. For the first 24 hours, try to refrain from having any solid foods. What I found out after the fact was inside they put a piece of gauze and a capsule with gel inside, and as you take the sitz baths, it will break down the gel, the capsule will get smaller, and it will come out. It's a plug they put in to prevent arterial bleed and stuff like that, and to ensure that the area inside is sealed right after the surgery, so the cuts that were made inside remain clean. It's supposed to stay in for 24 to 48 hours. The documentation from the hospital suggests that if it doesn't fall out within 3 to 5 days, that you should contact your local emergency room. I would say to avoid any kind of sepsis or septic shock, that after 3 days, if it hasn't come out, you probably got a problem. That being said, my plug is still in. It has not come out, which I think is also causing that feeling right at the opening where it's like, I feel like I have to poo, but I don't, and I'm sure that that will pass. I've talked with many people. They tell me that, and we're going to call it the plug, it is actually classified as a piece of gauze with a gel capsule on the end, and that gel disintegrates as you add heat and moisture. So taking the Restorelax will draw liquid into the bowel, which will make its way to the rectum, obviously, and that liquid will melt the capsule, and at that point it will be small enough that you can pass the gauze with whatever stool is behind it. And like I said, that was to keep what's inside in so it doesn't pass over the wound while it's still raw. They also said not to smoke. I'm a heavy smoker. I've cut down drastically. It drastically slows down your healing time. So if you are a heavy smoker and you are going to smoke, what I would suggest is for every 5 cigarettes you have, you must have an Epsom salt bath. The Epsom salt bath speeds up the process of healing. Therefore, it's kind of like a contravening measure. If you're going to slow it down one way, try and speed it up the other way, so then it's kind of staying progressively where you want it in the middle. Best suggestion to all of you, don't smoke. If you cough too hard, you'll blow out the stitches. It will be severely upsetting. It will be painful. You will have to go back and get restitched. And after waking up after the first day of coming home, you are not going to want to go back and get stitched again. So if you can avoid this altogether, butt it, toss it, whatever. Other than that, light meals, the Lipton chicken noodle soup, applesauce, and apple juice are your best friend unless you have some kind of acidic issue. So again, you don't want to cause yourself to vomit, to heave, dry heave. If you did take heavier medications or you opted in for the opiates that they offer after the surgery, you are going to be constipated. It is going to be much harder to pass the capsule and anything else that comes out. It is better for the first 48 to 72 hours you stick to a soft food liquid diet. I wouldn't go anything even as far as mashed potatoes. It's just too much. Soups, broths, juices. Try and stay away from coffee. It's dehydrating. It's caffeinated. No caffeine for the first 24 hours afterwards. It messes with the anesthetic, which can make you vomit. Other than that, I'm uncomfortable. I'm in a little bit of pain. Passing gas is extremely painful. But we'll have to wait and see tomorrow or the next day. I will upload another video so you guys can see what it's like to pass the plug. I'm obviously not going to show anything that is, inappropriate, just so you guys are aware. I will make a video before post of passing it and after passing it, to kind of show you my state of mind and my body language during those times. From what I was told by several registered nurses, my surgeon, and several other people that have had this done, passing the plug or the gel cap is the equivalent pain you're going to feel to a female giving birth. So that's what I was told. Like I said, my pain tolerance is pretty high. I'm not quite sure what to expect yet, but we'll find out in the next 48 hours. Anyways, I appreciate your time. If this video helped you in any way, just hit like or subscribe. And I'll have further videos to update you with. Have a good night.